Hi there YouTube, and welcome back to the DIY Beard. This is episode 3 of the bolt build. Today we're going to be doing a bit of wrapping. Now the reason that I've chose wrapping over painting is I think realistically I'm trying to make the bike the way I want it to look, and I've got a vision inside my head. However, I don't know if it's going to come off the way I want it to, and so wrapping's a really cheap and easy way of changing the colour of something, and then if you don't like it you just kind of rip it off. So as you can see in front of me, we've got a variety of parts that I've already pulled off the bike itself. I didn't want to bore you with, removing a few Allen nuts really, and I've decided to pull them off and bring them indoors. Because for those that have ever wrapped before, or those that are new to wrapping, it doesn't quite like the cold. You have to have a warm surface and a warm area for the adhesive and the wrap to adhere to. So I brought them inside, I've pulled them off. They've been in about an hour now, so the parts they're not hot, but they're warm, they're about room temperature. So as you can see so far, what I've got is I've got the air filter, the 2 engine covers, the one from the clutch side and the one from the brake side. The reason, this one's black, but the reason I've decided to do this one is, I'm not sure if you can pick that up on camera, but basically it's got a bit of a scuff to it, and also it's worn through just a little bit there. So I thought while we've got it, while we're wrapping, I'd just get that one done as well. We've got the headlight bezel. I'm going to see how wrapping it comes off. The reason being is there's a few rust spots, if you can just see inside of there. And while wrapping will be good, I don't want the rust to get any worse, so I don't want water to get underneath, pool and then cause it to get any worse. So I may end up painting that. I'm not much for chrome at all, so paint will probably be used in the future. But here in the UK, it's December time, it's wet, it's cold, it's miserable, and just like wrapping, paint doesn't like to be done in the cold. So I can't paint indoors, the wife won't let me do it, so wrapping's the next best option. And then last but not least for the parts that we've got inside the house is the battery cover. Again, I will probably end up painting that in the future. I'm just going to wrap it for now just to see how it kind of looks, and whether actually going black or maybe a gunmetal grey in the future may be the best option. Tools that I've got so far, so I've got some generic wrap, just something cheap off eBay. Like I said, depending on if I like the way that it turns out, I may end up painting that in the future. So I didn't spend a lot on that. I've then got my Stanley knife along with some fresh blades. The reason I've got the fresh blades there rather than inside the Stanley knife is I can probably get into more intricate areas using them by hand. Just have to be careful not to cut myself. Excuse me as well, I've got a cold. As I said, it's December in the UK, so colds and flus are all about. But I'm brave, I'm soldiering on, and we're doing a bit of work today on the bolt. Then I've got my hot air gun. As I said, wrap loves heat. It's a lot more pliable, it's a lot more malleable with some warmth. So we've got a heat gun for there, and plus it allows the residue in the adhesive to adhere to any part much better. And then what I've just pulled aside is I've just got some alcohol cleaner just to clean the parts off before we actually do apply any wrap itself. Wrap will adhere to any part much better if it is clean and free from any oils and grease. So we've just got some of that. So what I'll do now is I'll just set you aside, and we'll start to clean some of the parts itself, and then what we'll do is we'll start wrapping as well. So catch you. Okay, so we've got some of the parts cleaned up just using the alcohol cleaner. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply just a little bit of heat. It's really there as well just to get rid of any of the excess moisture that may be on these parts from cleaning them, just to give all the wrap the best sort of possible surface to adhere to. Now the headlight bezel, we may have a problem. I've got one of the screws that actually attaches the bezel onto the part. It won't come loose. I don't know if you can see that. And what I'm actually doing is, with the screwdriver that I'm currently using, is marring it up. And I don't really want to make it any worse. There appears to be some sort of Loctite on it in there. So I don't know if this has been off before, or if that's something that comes factory. Any bolt builders or anybody that's got a bolt and taken the headlight off previously, if you could just hit me up in the comments and let me know if that's something that's standard or something somebody else has done, that'd be great. But I might do that separately just because I don't want to make that screw any worse. But like I said, let's crack on with some of the other parts. So if we take some of the wrap, let's work on probably the easiest part, which is going to be that. Just going to apply some gentle heat, so apologies for the noise. Now I'm not trying to get it hot, just trying to get it nice and warm, and just make sure that any sort of, you know, residue, water, anything like that is all taken off and dried. Like I said, that'll just give your wrap the best possible surface to adhere to. Okay, don't need to be too long, just a couple of minutes on there. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to put the wrap on top, and we're just going to roughly measure how much I need. The wife is probably going to kill me for doing this on the dining room table. It's not, so what she don't know won't hurt her, and I'm sure you guys will not tell her. Okay, so we've got our piece of wrap cut out there, as you can see. And now what we need to start doing is wrapping the part itself. So, gently peel the backing off. Now I don't know if you can quite catch that. Now as you see there, it's got some marks in the glue. So the glue's not actually, sorry, the adhesive isn't actually flat, it's got small ridges in it. Now what that's actually for is air pockets. It allows any possible air to escape when wrapping your part. So just set you back a little bit so you get a bit of a better angle. And what I'll start to do is work it round. So by the looks of it, somebody's painted this before. The wrapping's fairly easy. You've got to have a lot of patience when doing it. One of the other things which I usually have, which I've not got with me at the moment, but I may shoot off and fetch, is some sort of credit card or debit card or something like that. And what that lets me do is it just lets me get some of the air pockets out. Now, the wrap I've used in the past has always been 3M or Avery. This is the first time I've really used any of the cheap stuff. So we'll see how that performs, but it looks to be going on fairly nice. A couple of air pockets there. Now if you do get air pockets, the best thing to do is literally lift it up and then reapply it, forcing some of those air pockets out as you go. As you can see, those grooves that are in the adhesive itself nicely allow some of the air pockets to sort of be released outside, so you get quite a nice smooth finish. Now, for the purpose of this video, what I am going to do is I am just going to quickly turn you off, and I'm just going to wrestle with some of the corners, and then we'll come back and show you what some of the parts look like after. Okay, so after some mulling about, we've got the first part all wrapped. It's been a while since I have wrapped, and as you can see, some of the edges are a little bit, well, they're not the greatest if I'm honest with you, but it'll do for now. What we'll basically look to do is, when it comes to Summit, if I do like the black that we've got on, bear in mind the engine case is gunmetal grey, what we'll do is we'll spray it black. Seen a lot of them on, you know, forums and on YouTube, etc., that have got black covers, and I do quite like them, hence the reason why I've wrapped it. Now what you'll also notice is you can just see some imperfections, and that's actually the underneath of the cover. Some of the paint started to come up, and as I said, you can see where it's kind of rubbed on there as well. So what we'll do is we'll come summer, if we do decide to keep it black, we'll rub it down and we'll paint it in some sort of tough paint. I've actually got some Simmons tough black, which I've used previously on my forks and my GSXR, and they've come up fantastic. Now, we also did have technical difficulties with the heat gun. That decided not to work for me, so I haven't had a lot of heat go into this itself, so hence why some of the edges are overlapped, etc. But like I said, by the time that's bolted onto the engine, you won't even see it. Okay, so cut forward a couple of hours and it hasn't gone too great. This is the airbox. As you can see, I just couldn't quite get the corners to flex right. It is the cheapest vinyl I've been able to find on eBay. I think it was about, I don't know, £3 for about 3 meters, so very, very poor quality. I just couldn't quite get the finish that I wanted to. However, I have installed the parts, so I think what we're actually going to do is we're just going to paint them. Sod it. I love the black. I think it's a very clean look. The gloss against the matte looks absolutely fantastic. So we're just going to paint it. I've still got some of the parts here. So we've still got the headlight, the battery case bracket, and then the silver clutch side case cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get some more of that. I used that previously on my GSXR on the front forks. Apologies for the dirt. Absolutely fantastic paint. So I'm going to get some more of that, and I'm just going to spray it, get a bit of a heater going on in the garage, and then we're just going to give it a couple of coats to see how long that lasts. So what we'll do is we'll pause this video for now, and we'll catch you next time, and hopefully we'll finish blacking out this bike. Bye now.